Hey everyone, so today we're going to learn about our microscopic friends known as Kinorhyncha. Fun fact, 3 new species of them that were found in 2017 were named after the dragons in Game of Thrones. Kinorhyncha are commonly known as mud dragons, and they are tiny marine invertebrates which live in the muddy floors of shallow seas and sands along the seacoasts. They definitely love their oxygen, so they are typically found in the upper, more oxygenated sediment layers on the seafloor. Kinorhyncha were first discovered in 1863, and these little guys feed on bacteria and microalgae like diatoms, protozoans, and fine organic debris, and while they may not have a strong relationship or any positive adverse effects on humans, they serve as an important part of the marine food chain as food for larger animals. As deuterostomes, their anus develops before their mouth, and in the early stages of embryonic development, 11 of their 13 body segments emerge, with the last 2 along with the head and scalets coming out during the 6 periods of shedding into adulthood. Their lifespan has not been determined yet, but they are one of the first known species to care for their young. Being sexual characters, they have separate sexes that look identical, with both males and females having paired gonads and short gonaducts for reproduction. The dad places a bag of sperm inside the mom, and she places that fertilized egg sac into the sand grains where the little guys hatch in about 10 days. When fully developed, our little dragon's friends can grow up to 1 millimeter long, with a yellow-brownish jointed body. Did you know that Kinorhyncha are so small that a single footprint of sand can cover 100,000 Kinorhyncha? That means a few steps can tromp over 500,000 of these guys. With 13 segments making up its rigid exoskeleton, mud dragons have a limbless body. The first segment contains a head, a mouth, and a retractable oral cone that has inner and outer stylets amassing to a total of 29 stylets, which are basically piercing mouthparts that help bring food into the body and move around. The second segment formed the neck, and the other 11 segments form the trunk of the body. These 11 segments are covered by tertial, dorsal, and sternal-ventral plates, and while they have no external cilia, it is made of a chitinous basal layer with membrane-type epicuticles. Beneath those plates lies a non-ciliated epidermis, which is associated with the nervous system that has a nerve ring of 10 ganglia encircling the pharynx, and a thick nerve cord running down the ventral side of the body. To be able to move with so many segments, Kinorhyncha need to be pretty flexible, and thanks to their cuticles, which are found on the segmental plates, they can articulate with one another to move. At rest, mud dragons are able to withdraw the head into the front of its body, much like a turtle going into its shell. I guess you can say they also like dancing, because when they move, they wriggle and twist from side to side, which helps them burrow through the mud and sand with their head. Since they cannot swim, they move by contracting their muscles on the top and bottom of their body, pushing their spine into the ground to propel them forward. The scales on the body are super important for facilitating that movement, and they use a fluid to anchor the substrate to the scales, allowing it to contract and extend to pull itself along the surface.
Managed to create a few phylogenetic trees. The first one was made using provided 16S RNA. The outgroup turned out to be Porifera, aka sponges, while the closest relative was mollusca, which includes animals such as slugs, octopi, and clams. The second one was made using our character matrix. The outgroup was again Porifera, and Annelida, which includes animals such as worms and leeches, turned out to be the closest living relative. There are many contingencies that were likely caused by the character matrix. Kinorhynchas, such as mud dragons and annelids, share many different characteristics, which includes segmented bodies, distinct cephalization, and having no limbs. This last tree was found in a published article courtesy of the Royal Society. These red dots indicate the presence of 20-hydroxycytosine, and based on this tree, the closest living relatives to the Kinorhynchas include Loriciferans, aka brushheads, and Priapulids, also known as penis worms.
535 million years ago, a little invertebrate found its final resting place in a shallow body of water outside what would someday become Nanjing, China. No greater than 2 millimeters in length and shaped like a spiky piece of rice, this little invertebrate is one of the oldest three-dimensional fossils of an organism with bilateral symmetry. Part of a species called the Kinorhynchus raru is believed to be the oldest known ancestor of the modern-day mud dragon. This ancient species shares many characteristics in common with the modern-day Kinorhyncha, such as an elongated trunk and segmentation, although this fossil is larger than any extant species, and its segmentation is not an exact match for the form of segmentation we see in Kinorhyncha today. On the Tree of Life, Kinorhyncha are part of a group called the Scelidophora, which includes the Loricifera, a phylum of marine sediment dwellers, and the Priapulida, a phylum of unsegmented marine worms. Between these 3 phyla, there are 3 possible pairings of sister groups, although current conflicting evidence makes all 3 hypotheses equally as viable. Others have placed Kinorhyncha in a larger group called Cephalorhyncha, which includes a phylum of parasitic words called Nematophora.
With over 222 species and 21 genres of Kinorhyncha around the world, the phylum is made up of 2 orders, Cyclorhygida and a homalo or hagita. And a common characteristic used to distinguish species with high taxonomic groups is the number of plates found on the animal.